In our evaluation of environmental effects, Reclamation examined the existing conditions of many different aspects of the environment, each of which is discussed as a separate resource in the draft EIS. Then, the potential effects were analyzed for each separate resource. In total, Reclamation analyzed the potential effects of this project to 23 separate resource areas. The existing conditions, analyses, and conclusions of effects for each are included in Chapter 3 of the draft EIS. Our analyses predicted minimal effects to some resources, such as aesthetics, noise, and air quality. We'll talk about the resources that were more likely to experience greater effects or to pique a greater amount of public interest or debate. Though there will not be any permanent loss of access to recreation sites around Anderson Ranch Reservoir or a reduction in the number of sites available, there will be temporary effects. Because a dam raise would cause many existing recreation facilities around the reservoir to be seasonally flooded in years when the reservoir refills completely, many sites would need to be shifted above the newly increased water levels. These modifications of recreation facilities have been incorporated into the proposed project. During the project, many campgrounds around the reservoir would temporarily be closed while they're modified and reconstructed. Reclamation would minimize this disruption by scheduling construction at campgrounds and boat ramp facilities outside of peak use season, and boat ramp access would be maintained throughout construction. There would be better quality roads and access to recreation sites after the project is complete, due to the need to improve road access to facilitate construction activities. A dam raise would potentially affect fish in Anderson Ranch Reservoir and in the South Fork Boise River below the dam. Both the reservoir and river are home to thriving sport fisheries that include smallmouth bass, Chinook salmon, kokanee salmon, mountain whitefish, rainbow trout, cutthroat trout, and bull trout, a species classified as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. Overall, the effects of the project to fisheries, including threatened bull trout, are expected to be beneficial in the long term. During construction, fish in the reservoir and the river could be adversely affected by underwater noise and vibration, the release of sediment into the water, and temporary limitations to migratory corridors and foraging habitat. After construction, no measurable shift in water quality or overall amount of available fish habitat is expected. While the year-to-year water management strategy at Anderson Ranch Reservoir would remain largely unchanged, fish in the reservoir could potentially benefit in the long run from the effects of an elevated reservoir pool. In the South Fork Boise River, fish would benefit from the effects of increased flows when the additional water is released from Anderson Ranch Dam for delivery to water users. Beneficial effects to migratory fish, such as bull trout, are also expected as a result of retrofitting 2 road culverts at Deer Creek and Fall Creek, which currently pose upstream migration barriers to fish that utilize the reservoir. Installation of passage-friendly culverts would allow fish to move between the reservoir and its upper tributaries, benefiting fish spawning and reproduction. As required by Section 7 of the Endangered Species Act, Reclamation is in consultation with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service on the effects that this project could have on bull trout populations. During construction, Highway District Road 134, leading from US Highway 20 to and crossing Anderson Ranch Dam, would be closed. This closure is expected to last approximately 45 months. An alternate detour route to enable travel between US Highway 20 and the west side of Anderson Ranch Dam and Reservoir has been identified. This proposed route would be on Highway District Road 131, crossing the South Fork Boise River at Cow Creek Bridge, roughly 8 miles downstream from the dam. Prior to closing the dam road, a section of this detour route would be widened and straightened to improve driver visibility and facilitate safer passage of larger vehicles and trailers. This detour route would be kept open and maintained year-round throughout the project. Upon reconstruction, the road across the dam would allow for 2-way traffic rather than the alternating 1-way traffic pattern that currently exists. The Pine Bridge on Highway District Road 61, also called the South Pine Featherville Road, may need to undergo retrofitting construction to raise the bridge superstructure by 1 foot in order to achieve the 2-foot minimum freeboard above increased water levels that's required by Idaho Transportation Department standards. If such a raise is necessary, the bridge would be closed during that construction for approximately 4 months, with a short detour route identified. Overall, water operations at Anderson Ranch Dam would not significantly change. During construction, the water level at Anderson Ranch would be restricted to less than its full normal range for approximately 42 months. This would temporarily limit the ability to use the Anderson Ranch facilities for flood control and storage. The decreased storage capacity could affect water supply during construction years. Following construction, refill of the additional reservoir storage space would occur in high runoff years. In these years, peak flows in the South Fork Boise River that have historically ranged between 4,400 cubic feet per second and 5,900 cubic feet per second would be reduced by up to 710 cubic feet per second for 1 to 7 days. Summer, fall, and winter flows would remain virtually unchanged. Refill of the additional 29,000 available acre-feet of storage could result in increased power generation in the late summer.